Today we're going to be looking at ways for us to solve multiplication problems when we have decimals. I'm going to show you a few different approaches and then you'll be able to choose which of those you like the most. The first way I'm going to solve this problem is by using fractions. When we have place value, it is easy to go from a decimal to a fraction. So I have 4 and 5/10 multiplied by 37/100. When I go to write these as fractions, I'm going to use the denominator that goes with the lowest place value. So looking at the first one, I have 45/10, so I'm going to write this as tenths, and again we have 45. So that's eliminating the decimal point. Then I'll be multiplying this by 37/100, so 37/100. In converting this to a fraction, it is easy to multiply those two denominators. 10 times 100 becomes 1,000. A trick we can use here is the number of zeros, so 0, 0, 0 ends with 3 zeros here. And then we do 45 times 37. I want you to practice this multiplication, so do this without a calculator. So we do 7 times 5 is 35, down the 5, carrying the 3. 7 times 4 is 28, plus the 3 that I carried is 31. With no numbers left, we can just put both the 3 and the 1 down. Moving on to the 3. Remember, the 3 is in the tenths place, so we put in our 0 placeholder. Then we do 3 times 5 is 15, carrying that 1. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 1 is 13. We add our two partial products. And we get 1,665 thousandths. And then I can put that back into its decimal form. Okay, all I have to do is take the decimal point and shift it the number of zeros. So I have 1, 2, 3 zeros. So 1, 2, 3. My answer here is 1 and 665 thousandths. Okay, we can go ahead and solve this next one. I'm going to use without writing it as fractions. So what I'm going to do is rewrite this problem. I'm going to ignore the decimals to start. So I have 56 and 3.2. Okay, I'm going to multiply just like I normally would. 2 times 6 would be 12. 2 times 5 is 10, plus the 1 I carried gives me 11. Again, I'm in my second digit here with 3, so I'm going to put my 0 placeholder. 3 times 6 is 18, and 3 times 5 is 15, plus the 1 I carried is 16. Again, I add those partial products. 2 plus 0, 1 plus 8, 1 plus 6, and 1. Now I'm going to deal with my decimal. So to decide where it's going to go in the answer, I'm going to count how many decimal places I have. So in the first number, 56, we have 0 decimal places, and in the 3 and 2/10, we have 1. So in my answer, if I add those two up, 0 plus 1, I'm going to have 1 decimal point. So shifting it over here, meaning my answer is 179 and 2/10. You can use a calculator to check your work just to make sure. So I encourage you, once you get an answer, to check by inputting this into your calculator to verify the correct answer. These methods are very similar to each other, and it's just a matter of which one you prefer to do, and following again the steps for each of those.